Hey guys, welcome back to another quick tutorial. Today I'm going to do a gradient ombre nail using the sponge technique. If you've seen any of my other videos, I have another technique that uses a brush to achieve the gradient or ombre, but sometimes with short nails it can be hard to use that technique, so I'm going to show you how I do a sponge technique. So we're going to use a red and black gel polish for this. You want to pick the lightest color as your base color and go ahead and cure that. I like to use these makeup wedge sponges for my ombre effect. I wet them with water, wring out any excess water, and that helps to make sure that the sponge doesn't pick up too much polish if you wet it with water first. So I know a lot of people like to use that latex glue to kind of go around the nail. I personally don't like to do that because you take as much time putting it on, making sure you're not flooding the cuticle or getting it on the nail, than you would cleaning it. And so it's kind of just, I don't like it. But it's personal preference. And I'll show you guys what I do on natural nail clients towards the later end of the video. So let's just jump in and get started. You want to grab your two colors, which is the black and the red in this video, and you're going to load up your brush, or I'm sorry, you're going to load up your sponge. So I'm going to do the red at the cuticle and then the black towards the tip. And since you did good coverage with your first coat, because your first coat you do want a very thin, even coverage, you don't really have to put tons of black, or I'm sorry, tons of red on your applicator. You just want to make sure you have enough on your sponge to cover your nail. So I don't want the gradient or the fade or the ombre to start too much in the middle. I kind of want it to be more towards like a French tip fade. So watch where you're putting your black. I mean, as you can see, I don't have very much red on my applicator sponge. So you kind of just do a test to see where you're at, and then you lightly start tapping. And I got a little too much black. So what you're going to do is now tilt your applicator sponge down and use the red to kind of blend it down. So you can see that I angled it down a little bit. So that's good enough coverage for the first part of this. So go ahead and cure that in the lamp. And you will see it's kind of got like a texture to it. And that's the one thing about sponging for your ombres that can be kind of annoying. So you want to use very light pressure when you're doing this technique. So now while your nail is curing, you just want to go ahead and reload your sponge with the red and the black. So I'm going to focus more towards the tip, and I am using the red first to kind of blend some of the black that I did in the first coat. And then if I want more of a black, I will use the base of my sponge to touch up the black areas. And I like the way this looks, so I'm going to go ahead and cure this, and this will be my finished coat. If for some reason you don't like something, turn your sponge around. I felt like it was a little thick in the areas where the middle part of the red and the black, so I wanted to touch it up a little bit. take some of the red off before curing the nail. And so I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and cure that. So since Halloween's right around the corner, I'm gonna Halloween this nail a little bit. And so just take some black gel polish, put it on a palette, and you're gonna need a detail brush of some kind. I don't spend a lot of money on my detail brushes. I just clip them and get them the thinness that I want. So I'm gonna add like a scary looking little tree type of thing. And what's kind of cool about those trees too is, you don't need a fine hand or a steady hand, I should say. And I kind of just do like a zigzag kind of little zigzag motion to kind of get those branches looking the way I want it to look. And you just kind of add where you want the branches to be. So I'm just going to add a little bit of like depth and dimension to this. So I'm just lining the very, very bottom of the nail to kind of make it look like the ground. I'm going to add some kind of like tombstone looking things, some crosses, things like that. Just use your imagination, add whatever you want to add. And it can be hard to see. You can make your ombre not as far down or far up as I did with my black, so you can see more of the detail work. But it's kind of neat because it kind of just peeks through ever so slightly, so it's kind of like hidden in there. So that's kind of cool about this design, doing it the way I did it. Okay, so I'm done. I like the way that looks. Can you see the little crosses and the tombstones in there, hidden in there? It's kind of cool. I like it. So once you're done, you're going to cure that in the lamp. And I'm using Luxa Matte to top coat these nails. Luxa Matte is a no wipe matte top coat. Um, it holds up 12 to 14 days, if not longer, without it going satin. If you get a satiny look, a tip with matte nails is to wipe your nail with alcohol to kind of take off any of the oils, the lotions that you might have on your hands and nails. Over time, it can shine up your nail. So use some alcohol to help with that. So Luxamat has a formula that's a little bit thicker. It's not too runny. I personally don't like runny top coats. I like my top coats to have a little substance to it so it doesn't run all over the place. Um, the top coats you can use all the way down to the very last drop. That's why I really enjoy my top coats so much, because I've used so many brands where you're halfway down and they get super thick on you. So I really like the formula on this, and you're not going to get any of the craters from that you created with the sponge with any of the Luxa top coats that you use, because they'll fill it out very, very nicely. And then once you're done, just go ahead and cure. So we are all done. Doesn't that look cute? That's super cute. I like it. And I like how, the tombstones in there are kind of hidden and you kind of have to like look for them. But play around with it and change up, add whatever you want to. You could add a cool moon in the background, play around with it and just do what you think looks cool. So now I'm going to show you how to do it on a client. And this is what I talked about earlier about not using that latex glue stuff. And what I do at the salon. So say you start putting it on and you do want to use light pressure. Like I said, if you push too hard, you're going to cause heavier and deeper craters. And it makes sense like, oh, I want to push hard so more polish comes out, but you don't want to push too hard. You want to use light pressure and kind of go in an up and down motion so you can get that ombre look. If you just went in one direction or like stayed in one place, it's just going to be like a line. So you kind of want to move up and down and use lighter pressure. So now comes to the cleaning part. This is probably the part most people hate when it comes to doing these kind of designs. You get your polish everywhere, and this goes also for regular polish as well. I like getting these little pads. They're made by Graham's Professional, I believe, and they are called hands down pads. They are plastic back and have a little tab you can hold on, so it kind of helps your nails not get messed up. And this is a really good quality pad. I've bought other purchased other ones in the past, and they just were not very good. They fell apart. The plastic came off, or it was more like paper came off of the cotton. So Grams is a really good brand. So you just want to get your alcohol and saturate your pad. And I like to squeeze it, kind of like fold it in half, kind of like a taco, and then use that and kind of swipe along the sidewall and the cuticle of the nail. And like I said, the quality of this brand is really good because the plastic on the back holds up. So that's the part that I use to kind of guide into the sidewall of the nail, and it keeps everything clean. And you want to make sure that you're doing this before you're curing, because if you don't do this, it's going to be stuck all over the nail and you're not going to be able to get it off. So I find this a lot easier doing it this way than using the latex stuff. But to each his own, and do what works for you. But this is what works for me, and this is how I do it on my clients at work. Okay, so there you have it. These are my matte Halloween nails using the sponge technique. Hopefully you guys found something in this video that was helpful. I still really enjoy making these videos for you guys to help you out and give you any tips and tricks on kind of like even basic things. So check out luxapolish.com if you want to pick up Luxa Matte, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.